So before we move on to the other Instagram posts that I found, Stormfall33, Storm got into my feed. I'm excited to see what she thinks about Mom of War.
Oh, the guy who is a stoic god of war fell for this woman and had a child with her. What kind of lady lands Kratos? And it's like, yeah, you can see how. She's
just
soul punched him.
That is pretty sick, honestly.
Holy
the way she fights, incredibly sick.
I think you should give her the sword.
And then
just saying, focus up.
Focus M.
Dude, the Quaid cube is taking me the out.
The cube. But again, like, the fact that this guy goes into the air and with combustion pushes himself towards you for a rider slash. That's pretty sick. I gotta be honest. That's pretty good game. You going into the air, use your fire abilities to combustially like push you towards the ground for a punch. Pretty sick. And then title card.
Well, I can't wait to play the new Mom of War when I'm 32.
Hey. Storm, you gotta stop with that slander. I'm how old am I? I'm already 33. Don't you dare put that slander of the 30s on me. But yeah, in a funny way, of her mentioning the Quig Cube, I found a thing from Gundo, and it's crazy. I don't know why he's having such beef about the cube, because he says, why spend money on motion capture during people who are playing a cube and a ribbon for God of War? This is why games cost so damn much to the developers. Pomni, I don't know. Oh, I don't want to click Pomni. I'm scared about that. Again, like before, his credentials are idiopathic, anger of the righteous outlaw, culture critic, CEO of Dickbags. That doesn't give me much to believe in. Let me see what else. Post whatever you want. You can curse. It just has to be tasteful. Hate how women who become famous for their looks are now subjecting us. You can't even write that sentence right. I hate how women who became famous for their looks now subject us to their vapid opinions. I can't even read that correctly. Anyways, I don't know how much of his opinion is true, because to be fair, when it comes to mocapping, Deborah has to talk to somebody, right? Gundam here it sounds like somebody who is not well educated, and when you're acting in a mocap room, you need something to. When an actor acts their heart out, you need an entity to act with, right? So you have to think to yourself, Deborah can't just talk to a ball that's like floating in the air, or a stick that someone just whacks around left and right. You can't just have that situation happening, right? Because an actor needs to act with something, and that's silly. The whole point of this, the mocapping is the fact that, Jelly jiggles, right? So my impression is that I don't know who this girl is. She might be the Ribbons. I don't exactly know. But for the way that a cube made out of jello would jiggle, makes a lot of sense to where it's whenever he runs around, the rig is gonna jiggle based on how it's on its shoulders because the straps will jiggle, sure. And he is told for how many hours in a day to like just shake the rig so that you look like you're jiggling when you're moving. But ultimately, it's a situation where an actress needs something to act with. Kind of like how there's stunt doubles, and some stunt doubles become a stand-in for actors, so the actors can act their heart out, right? And I don't know what's going on with this guy. I don't think it's really affecting the game. Cost that much. These are not multi-release mega blockbusters. It's a video game. Most A-list video games actors only make a couple thousand for most works. He probably got paid less. Again, what is it about money? I don't know if it's about money that he's talking about money, okay? Because the amount of time, the $400,000, the $500,000 budgets that we hear about from video games, I think actually comes from the time it takes to edit. And like, you could make a cube in engine, but the actor being mocap still has to act with something, right? That's my understanding. But let me see the quotes, or let me see a couple more. You clearly don't know how this works. See, this one, this person knows. These are just referential motion capture as well. If they one-to-one implemented the animation, I might say that it could add some kind of actor expression, but an animator is just going to look at the moving tracker points as references while manually animating. You could do this way cheaper with video references instead of a whole expensive rig. But again, that's slightly ignorant because it doesn't change that the actors need something to act with. Otherwise, like, it's all. Are you telling me that he would have done a better job if you watched a cube move on screen and you would dub the cube like you would in an anime or a cartoon animation? I don't know. Anything important down here? It's been long standing saying that there's a lot of frustrating filmmakers in the game industry who want to make movies instead of video games. I don't know about that. Hideo Kojima's influence poisoned the industry. I don't know about that. Many of these AAA games have bloated devs costs, and the rumors of Gears E-Day being upwards of 400 million, which I doubt, by the way. However, it's actually no. Charlie did talk about this a little bit, to where it may not actually be $400 million, but it is a concern to where how much does the game actually cost, and does it make sense that it costs a certain amount? It truly brings up a valid question of what these companies are really spending money on. Spending money on an actor to mocap as a cube is wild. And I think let's try to think about how let's think about how this comes into being, right? Because you need a reference to, because mocapping puts actors into the scene, which makes it easier for the animators to animate it in game. If I remember correctly, the server room that Mark made in his bathroom is what computed his ability to make the blood the way that it did in the movie. So my understanding is that the money that goes into this specific project will come into how the blob will be blobbing based on the algorithm that it requires. But again, I am not a filmmaker, but I do know that development costs comes in the form of like what they do to animate it, and then what they do to edit the game and edit everything. Editing takes a lot of time and a lot of money. But is this the Instagram post I was thinking of? Let me see. Oh no. Let me see. Okay, let's see. What do you mean you don't want to be a hot woman swinging a sword? Let's see what he has to say. This is Major Pectoralis 49. Okay.
I don't understand, man! What do you mean you don't want to play the hot woman with a sword? And you like women? You like kissing women? You like being around women? But you draw the line at getting to play the hot MILF with a sword? Who gets to attack things? I don't understand!
Yeah, no, I don't understand it either, Major Pectoral. I don't understand why someone wouldn't want to be a strong, attractive woman and like beat the crap out of you, man. I don't understand it. I don't understand why people like playing Chun-Li or Cammy or Jury or my Shiranai from Street Fighter. I don't know why people liked the announcement of Tifa and Street Fighter so much that people were screaming. You could hear Maximilian dude screaming from across the country with the news that you can make Tifa into a Street Fighter. I don't understand it either, dude. I don't understand it either. Okay. That's the wrong thing, but that is a thing I want to talk about. That is not the thing I'm looking for. Is this the thing that I'm looking for? Here's another piece. Yeah, here's another piece that's like I want to yap about. So why is it called God of War with no Kratos? Why is it called God of War with no Kratos? He was the Ghost of Sparta fighting for the title. It's same as Zelda. Link isn't Zelda. Okay, cool. Tabletop topics. Okay, I like this already. I like this already. Let's see what they have to say. Oh God, puta madre.
If there's no Kratos, first of all, he didn't become God. He was the Ghost of Sparta throughout God of War 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, because you're right. Because God, he only ever had the position of the God of War during cutscenes, but when you play as Kratos, you show the world why he is called the God of War. He is the God of War not because of his title. He is the God of War of what he can do.
He was not the God of War. He was fighting God. Yeah, Ares. Why would you make a game and call it God of War when there's no? Why would you call it The Legend of Zelda if you're playing not playing Zelda? Why would you?
The Legend of Zelda. I gotta be honest. When you Legend of Zelda games, let's look it up. Why is it called The Legend of Zelda? Why is it called The Legend of Zelda? Okay. Okay, so allegedly Reddit thinks that the Legend of Zelda is called that way because the legend says that Zelda is the personification of the goddess Hylia, and she is the one responsible for sealing Ganon in games. She's the main role of sealing evil, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella are about a damsel in need of some rescue, but Zelda is a very powerful like princess in her own right.
Call out Super Smash Brothers if you're not smashing the bros.
You know, you're honestly right. Why is it called Super Smash Brothers if you're not smashing your bros? I don't know, man.
Why would you call it Metroid Prime if you're not playing in Metro?
Isn't Samus Aran technically a Metroid? Is Samus Aran a Metroid? Huh. I mean, technically, at some point in the timeline, Samus Aran does become a Metroid, and then I believe in Metroid Dread, she becomes an amalgamation of human Metroid and Chozo warrior, I think. So that in itself becomes technical and it's very weird.
I hate that shit. It's the weak. Kelvin doesn't make any goddamn sense. Oh
no. Catch your ugly mugs at tabletop topics on YouTube or Twitch, I think. Okay. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 Eastern time. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, boys. Why is it called God of War if it's not about the titular man of the God of War? It's crazy, right? It's a crazy thought process. I'm not the one to tell you how to enjoy your game. Ultimately, if you enjoy God of War, if you enjoy the franchise, please play it. But don't start causing fights about God of War and how God of War Lefay is not God of War, because you're telling me that Kratos wanted the title of God of War. No, he wanted revenge, and that was the only thing in his mind. When he didn't get what he wanted in the first game, you meet up with him from the very beginning. In the very beginning, he was on some ledge, and you meet up with him again at the end of the game, and he takes a dive. And then Athena said, "No, you don't get to swim. You get your rightful place as the God of War, as someone who killed Ares' God of War." And he didn't want that. And in God of War 2, his primary goal was to climb out of hell and fight Zeus, because Zeus killed him, so it was a revenge plot. Every time you played God of War 1, 2, 3, the side games, it's all a lot about vengeance, rage, and revenge. But then 2018, 2022, it's a story about being better, of moving past your history and your mistakes and carving your own pathway, carving your own future out of it. Incredibly crazy. Like, again, the drama is incredibly wild.